Hi folks, Brian Benz here, Cloud Advocate at Microsoft, welcoming you to another JDConf 2024 on-demand session. In this session, Nagarjuna Vipparthi, Senior Product Manager at Microsoft, is going to show you how to use Azure Load Testing. Specifically, he's going to show you how to set up scripts which are based on JMeter, which is actually what Azure Load Testing is based on. He's going to show you how to integrate that into your CI/CD processes, including Azure DevOps and also GitHub Actions. Enjoy.
Welcome once again to Microsoft JDCon 2024. Let's see how Azure Load Testing can simplify the end-to-end performance testing of your Java applications. All of you know the importance of performance testing to ensure that your apps and services are resilient to spikes in traffic and that you can provide the same experience to your customers even at peak traffic. However, this testing process demands a considerable amount of time and effort. Azure Load Testing is a managed service for performance testing that simplifies this process for you. Using this service, you can easily generate high scale load without worrying about the infrastructure setup and run your test scripts at scale, easily identify performance bottlenecks using a rich visualization of client side and server side metrics. You can also integrate this into your DevOps workflows to ensure continuous performance validation. You can get started without any prior knowledge by configuring your test scenario within the Azure portal itself or use your existing Apache JMeter scripts. Let's see this in action through a quick demo using a sample Spring Boot application for a pet clinic. Here you can find information about the pet owners that visited the clinic, details of the veterinarians, add details of pets, owners, etc. We want to ensure that this pet clinic application can handle a peak traffic of 1000 concurrent users. To run a load test on this using Azure Load Testing, the first step is to create an Azure Load Testing resource. You can provide some basic details like name, select a resource group, an Azure region, and create the resource. To create your load test, you can upload your JMeter script in which you have configured your test scenario. Here is a sample script where we have the users performing multiple actions like visiting the home page, finding the owners, adding a new owner, adding a new pet, etc. Now you can upload this script under the test plan tab. You can also upload any other test artifacts like CSV files, plugin jar files, etc. here. We have parameterized the script to take the base URL as a parameter. So we provide those details under the parameters tab. This gives you the flexibility to update this value each time you run this test. If you have any secrets, certificates, etc. in your script, you can provide those details as well here. Let's configure the load now. In our JMeter script, we configured 250 users, but we intend to simulate a load of 1000 concurrent users. We can do this by selecting 4 engine instances, each of which will generate the load of 250 users specified in the script. We can also define performance criteria and thresholds for this test. If any of these failure criteria are met, the test result will be marked as failed. To monitor how the app components are responding to the load and get server-side metrics, we can add our app components for monitoring. If you do not have a JMeter script or do not have prior knowledge of JMeter, you can set up your test scenario within the portal itself by specifying the request details, URL, request type, headers, etc. While the test is running, we can view a live dashboard of metrics, and when the test run is completed, we get a full dashboard with summary statistics, client-side metrics, and server-side metrics. Here, we see that the response time and error rate are high. We can slice and dice to see how the different pages were performing, what types of errors were observed, etc. Now, let's look at the server-side components to identify the bottleneck. Looks like it is the app service plan. CPU utilization was almost 100% with the peak load of 1000 users. The memory utilization was also quite high throughout. Let's upgrade to a higher SKU and see if the performance improves. When we run the same test again, we see that there are lesser errors and the response time has come down. What we just did is a one-time testing and performance improvement. However, we do not want to discover performance issues very late in the development cycle and end up doing a lot of rework. We want to ensure that the performance is validated each time we push changes to our web application. Let's say we want to run load tests each time we deploy to the pre-prod or UAT environment. We can automate this by integrating load tests into our DevOps workflows using Azure Load Testing. We can set it up in such a way that our pipelines fail if the performance bar is not met. We can do this with just a few clicks from the Azure portal itself by selecting the test and selecting the organization, project, repo, etc. Or manually add an Azure load testing task from Azure Pipelines or GitHub Actions. Do try out Azure load testing and let us know your feedback. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Check out this and more at jdconf.com.